What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this, man. So, breaking news, man. We got new paperwork and documentations on tsunami surface. A lot of it. Well, not a lot, but it's enough. And this was basically his bond hearing transcripts. And what happened was Surf was went up for bond, man, and they released a lot of new evidence on him from pictures, guns, social media postings, and private text messages and DM and group chats and things like that. And I'm just gonna show it to y'all, and we're gonna do a real breakdown on this whole thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show it to you, break it down for y'all, so y'all can see what's going on, man. So, with no further ado, let's get off into it. Okay, so this is the paperwork, Department of Justice, right here. United States Attorney, District of New Jersey. So January 18th, 2023, via mail, the Honorable Susan D. Wingington, United States District Judge, Martin Luther King Jr. Federal Building in United States Courthouse, 50 Walnut Street, New Jersey. Just get right off into it. Dr. Judge Wingington, defendant Rajon Cox, aka Sue Surf Cox, or the defendant, seeks pretrial release from federal custody because there is no condition or a combination of conditions that can reasonably assure Cox's appearance at trial and the safety of the community. The government joins pretrial services in recommending to this court that Cox remain detained. So they're going to get an argument of why he should stay locked up and shouldn't be released. They said, number one, his background. So let's go into Surf's background, what they talking about. So they say on September 22, 2022, a federal grand jury sitting in the District of New Jersey returned a superseding indictment charging the defendant and 9 other members and associates of the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips criminal enterprise. The Rolling 60s are enterprise with RICO conspiracy and violation of 18 USC, and charged the defendant with possession of a firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon in violation of 18 USC S922 count one. Count one. At his initial appearance, Cox consented to detention, reserving the right to present a bail package to the court. That's that money by which his father put up $450,000 in property access, assets, and another person named Dedrick or Derek. He put up another 450,000 in assets for Surf. So that was that package deal that they talking about right there. The defendant now seeks pretrial release to the Secaucus, New Jersey resident to his mother and her wife. To his mother and her wife. So his mama is married to another woman, like legally got married to another woman. Pretrial services initially recommended that Cox be detained. So on his first pretrial, it recommended that he be detained. It is the government's understanding that pretrial is currently reviewing Cox's proposed bail package. So they just look over his bail package to see is it worth letting them go? But it's more than just money and access that they look into when releasing him. So let's look what it say. So under the Bail Reform Act, the court shall order the pretrial release of a defendant unless the judicial officer determines that such release will not be reasonable, assure the appearance of the defendant, or will endanger the safety of any other person or the community. Here's a review of the factors set forth. Makes clear that Cox poses of substantial danger to the community and a serious flight risk and is thus not entitled to relief. So in other words, he don't need no type of peace, no type of relief to be free to go home where he can relax and do anything like that because of his history by what he did that they deem him a danger to the community and a flight risk. Now they're going to say why. The nature and circumstances of the offenses. Okay. As set forth in the overt acts of count one of the superseding indictment, which are merely a sampling of the many overt acts committed by Cox and his co-conspirators during the years long racketeering conspiracy. Cox is a member of the is a member and associate of the Rolling 60s, a violent national street gang with a large presence in the District of New Jersey. Members and associates of that gang, including Cox, agreed that the gang would, among other things, commit violent criminal acts, possesses and share firearms, sell drugs. In furtherance of this conspiracy, Cox committed overt acts that include a shooting, unlawful possession of firearms, and the distribution of controlled substances, drugs. As one example, on about March 18, 2017, Cox, by then a felon and thus prohibited from possessing firearms. See, this is the thing that really got him in trouble. He's a convicted felon in possession of firearms, so they really trying to stick it to him on a firearm. Together with another member and associate of the enterprise, shot at a member and associate of a rival gang who shot at them. Cox eventually pleaded guilty to assault, and on January 29, 2018, he was sentenced to 3 years probation. That's crazy. He got 3 year probation off a shooting. Wow. I don't know nobody that ever got probation off a shooting. On July 24th, 2019, Cox, together with another member and associate of the enterprise, was arrested again for the unlawful possession of 2 loaded firearms. This arrest stemmed from the top of a car driven by Cox's female associate, individual one. Okay, we need a picture of her, man. I want to see how she looked. They ain't got no picture of her, though, man. I want to see how she looked, though. Who had committed multiple traffic infractions. So, man, he had a female with him doing that work, man. That's he was on their real set it off. He had a rider with him for real. Law enforcement lawfully recovered a loaded 9mm firearm and a loaded .40 caliber firearm, as described in count 3 of the superseding indictment from the glove box of the car. All 3 people were arrested. The charges against Cox were eventually dismissed, and individual one took responsibility for the loaded weapon. That's the female. So a female took a case for him. She took a case for him, and that's how, oh, wow, that's crazy. But that's how really people do in the hood anyway. Like most guys in the hood, when they doing illegal things, they always have a woman either do the driving and things like that. And when a woman in love with you and crazy about you, she'll go to the end of the world for you, man. That's why I be trying to tell cats, like, I don't need all them guys. I don't need no homies. Just give me one down woman and I'm good. But not for her to be going through these bad things and putting her in a bad situation, but because, man, she gonna take care of home and she gonna ride to the end and she gonna have your best interest when niggas and things like that. And I love to say the word niggas when dealing with this, because niggas give a bad name to a black man. Okay. And when they operating under those type of things, that's the problem. That's the problem. Niggas. And we need more black men than we do niggas. Niggas don't know how to value and appreciate a woman, so they misuse the power by which God created and blessed her with, that she was created to actually go to the ends of the world for you, but they use it wrong. And in the hood, you see a lot of guys dealing with women because they be feeling like, well, I let a girl drive when I'm doing my dirt, because the police don't really pull women over like that, like they quick to pull us over. Plus, a woman to take the case for you. And this was Surf doing right here in this situation. So the woman took the case, according to this. Then it says, however, The instant investigation revealed that those loaded weapons were Cox. Cox admitted the weapons belonged to him during the conversation in July 2021. This individual was fatally shot. See, they could open that back up if he admitted to it. Uh, uh, if he admitted to it, you know what I'm saying? And uh, that's the thing that they'll do. They'll bring that back up because, as you can see, even though the girl took the case, look what it says in this line right here: the instant investigation revealed. So after the person going on, though, they just some of them cases they'll be like, okay, we dropping the case, but it ain't really dropped. They just transferred over to a higher court, or a higher branch and law official and things like that. So I seen that happen to many people too. They thought their cases was dropped, but it just got transferred to another division of the government, by which they led to many indictments. And just like that, even though them things was dropped against him because the girl actually took the rep, they picked it back up in the indictment. Right? So it's just talking about what happened. Instagram, he did Instagram, so all that he did that. I got a whole breakdown on that show. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna go through it and show it anyway. Okay, so this took place via Instagram after he was released from custody. Snippets of the conversation, which were found during a lawful search of records relating to Cox's Instagram account are included now. So this, remember, they had subscribed to all his, they were following him all on his Instagram and things like that, and they actually had power to actually go into his private messages and everything. And I said this in the last blog, man, that these apps that y'all up under, all these apps you up under, these apps belong to the government, and the FBI and the government use it to actually arrest people. So ain't nothing safe. Y'all not deleting nothing, and everything is being recorded. Every image or video, every audio, every text message, even when you push delete and erase, is not deleted and erased. That's why they be want to retrieve your stuff. And as long as they got the device in their hand, they can go into your history, because how these devices are made, you can't get rid of nothing that you ever put inside of it, even though it'll tell you it's gone. But they know some type of the way it's created, they know some type of device or frequency that's within it to actually bring out these things that you once had in there that you erase, because these devices are made for these things for the government to control. So you can't do nothing on this government soil that they don't know about, privately or secretly, publicly or privately at all. So all this stuff is covered, and that's exactly how government is supposed to be ran when you're dealing with masses of people and you have no idea what a person doing. There's so many crazies in here. You see, they got people shooting up schools and shooting up workplaces, and we under terrorist alert and things like that. So they have to govern these devices. So these devices can't even come out unless it can be tracked, unless it can be GPS. That's why you seeing now on all these things. Notice every device you get now, like your location, even though it's asking you, could we use your location, and you giving them the yes or no, they only asking because they got it anyway. They got it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to find, they could do it. That's exactly what they did to Chris Unbiased. You know what I'm saying? They found him and their phones was off. Because again, as long as you can get control of the device and got a number frequency on the device, they can find you. They can find you. Okay, so in this, they showing Surf messages from his social media. And it said, wait, Surf, yo, wait, Surf, yo ass out. And then, he like, my whole ass is out. So during this Instagram group chat, Cox touted the skills of his lawyer, explaining, I've never told on a soul, because I guess some of the people like, dang, you out after all that? and they was insinuating he might have snitched. Surf say, I never told on a soul. My baby can drop dead right now. So I guess he talking about his daughter. This is a man. No, not this is man. The man is a effing shark. He talking about his lawyer, saying how good he is. Well, we gonna see how good he is, because now you got what he do on this. Then Surf get the same thing. This is what they're using against him, the things that he's claiming to. He said he beat my attempt murder in 2017. So he giving the people the dates that they can go back and reference. He say, so he put that in there. He beat my murder case in 2017. Like, dang. My strap charge in 2019 on May. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. Then they say later in that conversation, Cox stated 2019, they got my 40 and my 9mm. They respond. The Instagram handles of the individual with whom Cox communicated have been redacted to the publicly filed documents, but made available to the defense and the court. This is likely a reference to Cox's aggravated assault, as detailed on page 7 of the pretrial report. He was originally charged with attempted murder. This is a likely reference to Cox May 6, 20. Sir said niggas had my man down. Stuff like that, losing friends, body. Thus, Cox was not merely bragging on social media about guns. See defendant's bail motion. Rather, during a conversation related to his recent release from custody, Cox admitted that the guns that had been confiscated pursuant of the arrest was a 40 caliber firearm and a 9mm firearm were his. He admitted that these two guns was his, like they showed in the text message. So they trying to get him on that. And plus he gave them the date. So this dude basically booking himself. Like that's great. To be sure, Cox now claimed that he has come a long way from his criminal past and has made significant effort to be a positive influence on his community. But the investigation has demonstrated that Cox remained closely affiliated with the enterprise, talking about rolling 60s, and involved in the criminal activity. For example, Cox was captured on a video that appeared to have been made in 2021 driving through East Orange, New Jersey, threatening a man on the street by displaying a firearm loaded with an extended magazine and yelling in substance, "I'm gonna kill you when I catch you," on 60 Crip. And a still shot of this event is included below. So this them showing that event. That Cox was wearing on the Enterprise 60 Crip serves as a clear evidence of his ongoing affiliation with the Enterprise. So this them showing the evidence of it. That's Surf holding the gun on the internet. They saying threatening the guy. This is Surf with the rolling 60 tatted on him to show that he affiliated with the gang. So they using all that. So then it goes on to say, significantly, the caption associated with the photo read, "Once you change, you can't change back." So they using that against Surf. They showing that he's trying to argue that he's changed, but if you go through his history prior to him being locked up, he's doing everything but changing. The man said he got a post up showing guns behind him to hurt people, saying that, and in the caption it reads, "Once you change, you can't change back." So they said, indeed, the parent associated responded, "Till I'm cold neighborhood." The investigation has revealed that NH is an abbreviation for neighborhood and a common way for the members and associates of the enterprise to greet each other. As further evidence of Cox's continued involvement in dangerous criminal activity, in April 2021, Cox was captured in an Instagram group chat discussing the price, sending along photographs of these weapons. During the conversation, Cox sent the other participants the following two paragraphs. Portions of that conversations are included below. Okay, this is another indictment. This is definitely another indictment already. So it appears that Cox probably got somebody else indicted as a result of that. I would love to know who that was he was talking to on his text messages right here that's showing the guns and things, but that definitely was another indictment, obviously. These appear to be screenshots of electronic messages with an individual involved in the sale of firearms, in particular the semi-automatic rifle depicted therein. He then discussed these photographs with his co-defendant Amir Warden, aka Killer Warden, who used the Instagram handle Bossman Stamp. So that's them following them also on Instagram. And Sir said to him, man, they taxing, cat. Then they released the other screenshot. It say, them ghosts F them. Them ghosts F them. Then I need something with a switch on it. They saying, Sir saying. I think the top one is a switch killer. Is what they saying, Sir said. The top one is a switch killer. Both Cox and Warden are felons who are prohibited from possessing firearms. Troubling, the two are likely referring to a firearm switch, which can convert a semi-automatic firearm to an automatic weapon. According to the nature and circumstances of this offense, as well as the strength of the evidence of Cox's long-lasting association with the enterprise, weigh heavily in favor of continued detention. Cox's history and characteristics. Cox's history and characteristics also warrant detention, that he may be detained. The defendant, who is 33 years old, so Surf is 33 years old, has been convicted of at least 4 crimes and has a history of violating other orders, indicating that he will be unlikely to follow the orders of this court. For example, in 2010, in Essex County Superior Court, Cox was convicted of unlawful possession of a weapon, handgun, and Warden and Cox also used social media to discuss the distribution of marijuana, Count 1 overt act E. Warden was arrested on September 29, 2022. A lawful search of the residence in which he was found led to the recovery of, among other things, pirate containers holding suspected proximity of, of suspected cocaine littered on the to include that Warden was flushing this thing. Drug paraphernalia, including approximately 4 digital scales and approximately $56,000. A lawful search, so they got him with that too. So they called him $56,000 cash too. So this dude was flushing drugs and everything. A lawful search of one of Warden's cars led to discovery of an empty compartment, a trap suitable for the storage of controlled substances. In a lawful search of another warden cars led to the recovery of boxes of ammunition. A lawful search of a storage facility that warden had recently assessed led to the recovery of 3 loaded firearms, approximately 3 high capacity drum magazines, approximately 1,300 rounds of ammunition of varying caliber, and over 17,000 empty glassiness, glass centers, glassiness, whatever that is, suitable for the packaging of narcotics for distribution. So you know what's crazy about this? This was the extra stuff they found him with. So he got charged with more than that. Okay, so basically on September 29, 2022, this guy Warden right here, when they were coming to get him from the indictment, all this other stuff wasn't even included in the indictment. This is what he had on him when they came and got him. So that 36 pounds of marijuana, the cocaine residue from him trying to flush it and stuff, and the 56,000 in cash and all the other guns, that was extra. So these are the charges they didn't charge him with, because this was them coming and get him, which means when they came and got him, they finna charge him with that too. A lawful search of these brothers right here was terrible. So think about what he doing. This was crazy. So Jason Franklin is the head dude of the indictment, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna say that for another blog. Don't even worry about it. Let me put that down on the thing. I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm just taking this note. I need to write this down right quick. I gotta break that down. Yeah, I gotta break that down. Let me write this down. Okay. I'm just taking this note. Okay. So he had 1,300 rounds of ammunition for varying calibers and over 17,000 empty glassings suitable for the packaging of narcotics for distribution. Score some more. Sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. Pretrial reports. This plea resolved several matters, including a Union County arrest for possession of a weapon with a defaced serial number. According to the pretrial report, Cox was arrested after brandishing a defaced handgun and threatening a victim doing a robbery with physical harm. So he threatened a victim doing robbery with physical harm. So that's a robbery with a gun. Brandishing. I think brandishing is trying to wipe off the serial numbers. Yeah, that is the defaced serial number. So that's what they caught him with a firearm. The serial number was scrubbed off. He was threatening somebody while at the attempt of robbing them. In 2011, Cox, by then a felon, was arrested in Detroit, Michigan. Here we go. It's the one about the calico and stuff they talk about. Let's talk about this one. In 2011, Cox, by then a felon, was arrested in Detroit, Michigan for carry a concealed firearm. Because Cox failed to appear in that case, it remains open. And the related bench warrant appears active. Significantly, in 2013, Cox was charged and convicted in Tuckahoe Village, New York, for bail jumping in the 3rd degree. Soon after, he was convicted in Tarrytown, New York, for forgery in the third degree. In 2017, in Access County, Cox was convicted of the aforementioned aggravated assault. I'm trying to see what line I'm on, because I'm sorry, it ain't got numbers by it, and I love track. Okay, right there. For shooting a gang rival. He was sentenced in 2018 for 3 years probation. Not only did he continue his involvement in the enterprise after being sentenced to probation, he got probation again, but a flagrant violation of the terms of his probation. He possessed 2 loaded firearms in July 2019. Most recently, Cox's actions on learning of the superseding indictment demonstrated that Cox continues to have little respect for the law and will likely fail to follow the orders to this court. The superseding indictment was filed under seal on September 22nd, 2022. DE 4344. Initially, Cox, while clearly unaware of the charges, continued to perform as a rapper. Then on September 29, 2022, 2 of Cox's co-defendants, including Warden, were arrested and had their initial appearances, DE 5157. Within days of these appearances, online articles and blogs alleged that Cox was charged in a racketeering indictment. See, they watch us. Look what they said. Remember when Rock and them all got to putting that all out, all the A-Ward and them all got to going on Twitter and them saying free surf, and nobody knew what the hell was going on, because we like, free surf, he ain't locked up. How free? What's going on? What's going on? So apparently the FBI, who was watching all of them at the time and things like that, that had part of this, was saying that the battle rap community started warning, started saying things like free surf. And this again is another reason why Surf ain't getting bond. When they went to the internet saying free surf, Surf was aware of this. At first, see, they knew Surf didn't know. Look what it said up here. Let's go back up. It said, look, it said, let me go back up. It said, most recently, Cox's action upon learning of the superseding indictment demonstrated that Cox continued to have little respect for the law. Now, remember what they arguing. Is it safe to let him go? Could we depend on him to return back to trial, seeing the seriousness of his case? So look what they say. They said the superseding indictment was filed under seal on September 22nd, 2022. Initially, look at what they say. Remember, he was on the Rolling Loud concert? It said this. So Cox, while clearly he was unaware of the charges in September 22 when he was on tour. Then it say in September 29, 7 days later, 2 of Cox's co-defendants, including Warden, they was arrested and had their initial appearances in court. Watch this. Within days of these appearances, online articles and blogs allege that Cox was charged in a racketeering indictment. See that? See, when he was on the Rolling Loud, he was unaware of what was going on. Then when his man and them got knocked and hit, then he got wind like he in trouble. Then they started seeing online people talking about it. Watch this. Soon after Cox ceased using his cell phone. See, now they're trying to show how he knew he had want, he knew he was wanted, and he was trying to go on a run. Soon after Cox ceased using it, soon after Cox's cell phone, but did not surrender to authorities. See, there you go. Indeed, law enforcement visited the Newark, New Jersey home of a family member Cox to retrial release. The attorney contacted federal prosecutors, advising that Cox family had consulted with them and that Cox wished to surrender to authorities. Yet Cox did not do so, despite federal prosecutors informing these attorneys that Cox was facing federal charges and should surrender himself. Further, Cox purported manager Kua Bellamy posted to Instagram and spoke on one report. That's when they call them reporters, but in fact, that was Hip Hop Is Real now, wasn't it? That was either Hip Hop Is Real or 15 Minutes of Fame. Oh man, we're gonna talk about that too. Let me put that on the blog. For example, on or about October 4th, 2022, Bellamy apparently told a reporter Cox is definitely not on the run. I remember that. I just got to see what that was. But is preparing to deal with the federal law enforcement matters by making plans. See, they watching everything in battle rap to take care of his family, his business associates. Apparently, alleging Cox does not know the severity of the situation yet, but is preparing for the worst and praying for the worst, and preparing, for the best. No, and praying for the best. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go too fast. And praying for the best. Bellamy recently posted the following to his Instagram story. See, now they use his manager, showing how foolish his manager was. With that is made to Instagram, and it's only available for a short period of time. So this what his manager put up. They saying now they're using his manager against him. His manager put up, "Hey killer, we got you too." This was during the time Surf was on the run, but they were showing love to the guys who had got arrested and put up their pictures. "Hey killer, we got you too. We got you too, Sheik. They can't snatch us all. They can't snatch us all." So they using this again. Then his photograph appeared to depict Bellamy as well as Warden, who is known by the Moniker killer or the Moniker killer, by stating, "Hey killer, we got you too, Sheik. They can't snatch us all." Bellamy, Surf manager, demonstrated that he, and thus also Cox, was well aware of the superseding indictment and the related warrant for Cox's arrest. On or about October 13, 2022, law enforcement, included Deputy U.S. Marshal, determined that Cox was inside a Jersey City apartment. The resident. They accessed the building in which the resident was located through a back stairwell. There, law enforcement found Cox together with this interview was not televised, but the reporter apparently summarized what Bellamy stated. Update: Sue Surf just spoke with his manager. Yeah, what's that at? Oh, they giving what it was on Bellamy, and he confirmed a few things for us about at Sue Surf. Fox. Okay, so that was Fox. Probably when he talked to Lisa. So that was them talking to Lisa. That girl Lisa. Okay. Persons who are believed to reside in the resident. Individual 2. Cox ignored the investigators' orders to stop. Instead, he and the individual 2 fled up the stairs to the residence. He attempted to shut the door. As a deputy marshal attempted to push it open, the 2 struggled, and then the door shut. After the door was shut, a deputy marshal heard sounds consistent with someone attempting to move items around within the residence, and believed that Cox was attempting to barricade the door. Law enforcement called Cox, and he asserted that he would be willing to surrender after he accomplished tasks such as going to the bathroom, washing his face, calling his mother. Investigators heard him on the phone, purportedly speaking with his mother, the proposed third party custodian, instructing her to, in some substance, get his money right and to call people on his behalf. Eventually, Cox exited the residence. Cox's behavior, together with his significant criminal history, including his bail jumping and aggravated assault convictions, and his possession of loaded firearms as a convicted felon, demonstrates his utter lack of respect for the law. Therefore, Cox posed a considerable risk of harm to the community, as it is likely that he will continue to engage in criminal activity that is to the detriment of the community, including his affiliation with the enterprise, which is involved in violent acts and narcotic distribution. Um, Safety concerns are to be given a broader construction than merely danger of harm involving physical violence. Just trying to bypass all this other stuff. My eyes starting to bother me. Defendants' propensity to commit crime generally, even if the resulting harm would be not solely physical, may constitute sufficient risk of danger to come within contemplation of, hold on, let me scroll down, see this more. Contemplation of bail reform. To be sure, Cox is asking that the court consider placing him on home confinement. He want to go on house arrest. But no set of release condition can adequately assure that he will remain within the jurisdiction. Electronic monitoring and home confinement do not guarantee that. Defendant will not flee or endanger the community, as monitoring impedes but does not prevent a defendant from fleeing. Cox had the means to flee this jurisdiction, and given the weight of the evidence in this case, he had the motive to do so. So, in other words, they saying they got so much evidence against him. What's the purpose of him coming to court? He ain't even got a fighting chance. So of course he gonna flee. They saying it's too much evidence against him. We got his pictures, we got his text messages, we got his confessions about himself. He basically told on himself and everything that we got on him. So he ain't coming back. That's what they basically saying. Let me read that line again. Cox has the means to flee this jurisdiction. That's what they saying. He want to get out so he can run. And given the weight of the evidence in this case, he has the motive to do so. There you go. He running. He trying to get out because he know he can't beat this case and too much evidence against him. He don't got a fighting chance. So the best thing for him to do is run. Notably, the only assets recorded in the pretrial report is a check in 5,000. Though Cox admitted that he had recently moved money around from his accounts to family members' accounts soon after Cox's arrest. Okay, so that's them monitoring and calls. See, they got more evidence on him because they saying that he admitted that he took money out and moved it to family and things like that as a result of whatever. A lawful search of the Indeed in July 2020, approximately 4 months after co-defendant Elijah Williams fatally shot a gang rival, and detailed in Overs Act Q through DD of count 1 of the superseding indictment, and spending large periods of time outside of the District of New Jersey. Cox reached out to Williams to offer his assistance, including a getaway. Then they got the text message right here. This sir saying to dude, what's up? Talk to me. Head above water. You straight? Pocket straight? Need a getaway? What's up? HK? I'm in Florida right now on a little vacay with my fam and stuff. But yeah, I'm out the way right now. But yeah, you can send me a little pocket money. But how you been, HK? You straight? Uh-oh. Mm-mm. For the reasons set forth therein, the government respectably submits that continued detention is necessary if there are no conditions or combination of conditions that will sufficiently protect the community and ensure the defendant's appearance at trial. Residents led to the recovery of, among other things, a book bag containing approximately $5,373 and a diamond encrusted Cartier watch appraised at $18,000. That's what they got from Surf. Okay, man. So it appears that Surf Mike could be facing other charges. That right there was a death blow. Like I knew. I know how these people work. This is just the beginning. They don't give you everything, man, when they indicting you. They just charge you with some, and then they need something to negotiate with. But with that being said, man, you know what I'm saying? That's basically everything in a nutshell. So, whew, you brothers and sisters, man, I'm gonna keep y'all informed that we get more and more information, man. God bless each and every last one of y'all. Be safe out there, man. Trust in the Lord Jesus Christ. Everything will go well with you in your life, man. So I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, do not repeat these cycles, man. Stay blessed. Leave them drugs alone. Leave them gangs alone. If you're going to worship anybody, if you're going to follow anybody, follow God. Worship God. And not these blocks of neighborhoods and streets and dead, locked up gang leaders. Follow God. He'll never let you down. With that being said, it's your boy Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment. That's a question. It's yours.